What happens after we let go of the matrix? Or what is life like without being identified in the matrix? Well, I guess we are about to find out because we are all in the middle of that process. And I don't think anybody really knows except for glimpses and inspirations. But like we talk about a lot, there is a longing for something that is much, much better. And that, of course, is what is giving birth to itself as and through you and I and everybody else who is really opening to that. But in the meantime, what is it like to let go of the matrix? What is it like? What is the process like as we let go of the matrix? Why do we even want to let go of it? That's another good question, right? Why do you want to let go of the matrix? You can ask yourself that question. And the answer that you come up with is probably very important to you. I can tell you what it is for me. Why do I want to let go of the matrix? I am so effing tired of it. I'm so sick and tired of the absolute nonsense that we have been engaging in, that I have been engaging in for so long. And I do believe that the only reason that I can say that I'm so done with this, that I'm out of it enough that I can actually say it with a smile, not like a battling thing anymore, but it's like I'm so done with the battle, with the strive and the struggle and the thinking and the trying to make it and all that nonsense that we have been engaging in. But I don't know what life is like after I'm all the way out, because I'm not all the way out yet. I don't think it's even possible to be all the way out as long as that old frequency of the patriarchy, of the simulation, of the illusion is still active. And it is because most people are still feeding it, engaging it, giving it energy, giving it life. It needs our energy to stay alive. That is a very big statement. And when we get that, you kind of want to get out of there as quickly as you can and stop feeding it, because we all know that it's not really fulfilling. We try and be fulfilled out there in smaller or bigger things, but we always fall flat on our face after a while, until we are so connected inside that we are these beautiful outlets for the divine, the flow, the fulfillment. And then our expression in the world is very different. Then it's not like, oh, I want to get out of here, because you are bringing in, you're coming with a different frequency, which is, of course, where we want to live in and as and from. But when we are outside of that flow, we are in the matrix and we're struggling and we're not happy. So the transition, the way I'm experiencing it, and I have gone through a lot of loss, financial loss over the past number of years. And I have shared that with you before. It freaked me out the first day or two that it's the first big thing happened. But because I have done this work for so long, and because I'm so connected to, I would say, the work of Joel Goldsmith, where I have been training myself to see through things and not just believe it at face value, what happens through the five senses. It took me about a day or so, the first thing, when the first one happened. that I literally saw it. It's like, this is not real. This is not real. I wasn't in denial, which could also be part of it, but I wasn't. I was just seeing it for what it was. And in that, there was such an amazing choice to take my hands off and not try and grasp or change or get it back or whatever, which was impossible anyway. And then there have been a number more. And every time when I take my hands off, a lot of that anxiety and pressure and striving and trying, that is really what I'm letting go of, right? It's an internal impulse out to change something, to get something, to get rid of something, right? It's coming from in here. And that is when I say don't touch it. When this comes and wants to do its thing, whether it's grasping or pushing away, that's what I don't touch. I just allow it to do its thing. I'm not giving it my energy. It feels like it's something working through me that is not me. And I'm just like, I'm not interested anymore. And that's a very strong stand in me in many, many things where I'm just like, I'm just not interested anymore. And in that, I don't really care. But it's a good not caring. I want something different. So I'm taking a stand. It's like, I do not want that anymore. I want to live from here. And even though the doors may still be partly closed, I want to live from here. So you can feel there's a very strong determination in that. And that is what motivates me and what moves me. So as we keep not touching and dropping and letting it be, something starts building in us that we don't really know what is yet. But what I can tell you is that I experience so much more peace and okayness with things. It's kind of like there's a much deeper trust in the flow. And it's because I want to know what the flow is. I do not want to go out there and try and make things happen outside of the flow. So the stand is like, no, not that anymore. I'm done with you. I want to know how life unfolds from the flow when I'm just in the flow, when I am the flow. That's what I want to know. So then it's just a matter of just sitting here at the portal, at this longing for the flow to come out. Like, okay, I'm going to sit here until you take over my life because I'm done with being separate. And of course, you taking over my life is the I am that I already am that I had turned away from. So it's turning back to that sense of I. And I am. And in that, there is no division, there is no duality. There is just a state of presence, of being that is just here, that's just now. And that's what I want to know what is. From that, things start moving, new ideas, new inspirations, connecting with other people who are on the same frequency, connecting to the field more that I've talked about, the field that Rumi speaks about so beautifully, beyond wrongdoing and right doing. Right? The wrong and right doing is all happening out here, grasping. So when we don't do that, we're in the field. And now we need to find out, okay, now how does life function in this experience that we're still in? How does the field function already? How can I partake in this field, in this heaven that is spread all over the earth that I can't see, but it's here? So show me now, what is that like? And like I was just sharing, I just feel a lot more just an openness, a softness, a willingness to not know right away, just a willingness to keep opening up to it. And in that willingness, I feel much more relaxed. So I can kick back a little bit into the flow more, into the field, and just be okay, almost kind of like no matter what happens. But this is a different kind of no matter what happens than it is when we expect bad things to happen. I hope I want to make sure we get the distinction, because in the past, when I would say, I'm going to throw in the towel, I'm done. But there was a resistance, there was a fear or a disappointment or something. There was a contraction in that. And in that, I was not open to the flow. You see, so it's very much about, are we like this or are we like this? Now I feel more like I really don't care what happens, because I know in the flow it can only be good. It can only be harmony or peace in the flow. I'm not fully there yet, so there might still be some barriers, like Rumi talks about, that need to be cleared out for the flow to come through more clear, more uninterrupted. And it feels really good. It's like, okay, so I lost this, I lost that, I lost that. I don't know what's going to happen. Um, Show me. I don't want to battle anymore. I just want to be in that flow. Like I've shared, my deeper longing is I am deeply relaxed in the effortless flow and fulfillment of God's loving grace. This is a statement, a heart statement that came to me many years ago. And it's taken me many years to really start feeling and experiencing it. But it is happening because that has been deepest longing that I have stayed with and stayed with. And little by little, all these barriers, all these boulders that needed to be cleared out along the way, including my holding on to certain financial securities or safeties. I shared before, I lost a lot of crypto, and which I thought was, okay, well, that will carry me through for a while, especially if it keeps going up. And then suddenly, like, most of it was gone. And but it's been so good, because every time this has happened, something has relaxed in me more, and resting back into the flow and allowing the flow to live the life called Pranilla in this case. So what is it like to not live in the matrix? Well, it's a process for me. And there's just a deepening in the trust, in the relaxation, in the merging with it. Not really going up here anymore to figure it out. There's just a willingness and a commitment to stay here and let it keep showing itself. And I see a lot of beautiful things happening that I'm like, okay, that's good. I didn't try and make that happen. It's just happening. And that's how I want to live my life. You may have heard this little story, maybe a Buddhist story or something, where there was this Buddhist monk living in his own little abode. And then one day, these parents came and knocked on his door with their daughter and a little baby. And they said, you're the father of this baby, and you need to take care of it, and you impregnated our daughter. I may say a little wrong here, but that's kind of the gist of it. So they dropped off the baby, and the monk said, oh, is that so? So he took the baby, took care of it, he fed it, he nourished it, he helped it grow up. And then after a few years, the parents came back with the daughter and said, oh, sorry, we made a mistake. You're not the father. And the monk says, "Oh, is that so?" And he gives the child back to the parents and the daughter. When I heard that, maybe 20 years ago, first time, it's like, wow, that's amazing. But that is how I experience most of my life right now. It's kind of like, oh, is that so? And then I stay in here as peace, and then I can then I can ooze that peace because I'm not leaving it anymore. It's like, oh, that's so. There are times where I have an immediate reaction for sure, but it's very short-lived. So that's what it's like for me to start, letting go of the matrix, exiting it. And what happens then is that we can rest back in the flow more and more and more and let it show us. And then, sometimes really amazing things show up that we could not make happen on our own. So that's my little story about what it's like to live outside of the matrix. And if you have one too you want to share, please share it in the comments. I would love to hear about it. And I think others too. I think it's inspiring when we can share these things with each other. So please like, subscribe, share, comment if you enjoy my channel here. And until we meet again.